And we're on the air in 3, 2, 1.
Speedy TV, live from the National Veterans Wheelchair Games, a service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.
We've got more of the 34th National Veterans Wheelchair Games here on Speedy TV. How are you? I'm Tim Pogo, standing in Independence National Park, home to lots of green space and museums, and unfortunately, I haven't got enough time to wait in that long line to see the Liberty Bell because we've got more sports action to get to. And up next is one of the events that a lot of the athletes have been telling me all week long they were really excited to participate in. And it's a game that pretty much anybody can play anywhere, including right here on the lawn. Boccia. Meet Jessica Green. She's an Army vet from San Jose who's in the Boccia tournament. Something new this year, something different, huh?
Little something different, yeah. They had an exhibition round last year, so I played last year and I wanted to try it again this year.
Because now it's official, it's a medal.
Right, well we had medals last year, but they didn't really publicize it as much, so now I think there was a little more interest in it this year. There's 62 players, I think, in this tournament, so.
And I know you're ultra competitive here every year at the games. Tell folks what else you're in throughout the week, and this is kind of a nice little change of pace, maybe?
Yeah, you know, I thought I would do something that would give me something new to focus on because I'm looking for new activities that I can continue on outside of the games and maybe something to carry on a little further. So this is something I can do at home and something I can practice with friends too. So
help everybody out how it's played. I mean, everyone plays like at picnics or whatever, but I don't know if anybody actually knows the rules, right?
The white one is a jack. So it's kind of like marbles. If you ever played marbles as a kid, you throw one out, and then the concept is you try to get your ball as close to that jack as possible. You can hit somebody else's ball out of the way. You can hit the jack further away. You can bounce it. You can, you know, there's so much to it. The technique. You can roll it underhand. You can throw it overhand. You can bounce it. You can throw it slow. You can throw it fast. You can throw it close. You can throw it far. If your opponent throws it real close, that might be a challenge too because you can, you know, move your chair back a little further, or if you have a strong arm, then you have to challenge yourself to throw it a little closer. So there's a lot more involved to it than people think. Sure.
It's like curling marbles all together, right? And you got to stay inside your little box as you're throwing?
Yeah, we have to stay inside the box, but you can move around in the box. And I find that if I position my chair a little differently, then maybe I get a better angle or just a different position. So.
And what I like about this and all the other events here at the games that are like this, where doesn't matter who you are, how young or old you are, anybody can play this one. There's adaptive measures and the ramps for people.
Right. That's what makes it a challenge is, you know, we've got all these different people who are playing, and it's deceiving. You might look at somebody and think, oh, I'm going to smoke this person, and then you've got to evaluate how they're throwing. And like this guy I played against, he's like, oh, you know, he doesn't look like he's that strong, but he really has a strong arm. So it's something you really have to challenge yourself at. So.
There's a life lesson. You can't underestimate, right?
That's true, and that's what about these games, because that, you know, motivates you to do better. You know, you think, oh, I can use my arms better than he can, but then he can do something better, so that makes you want to practice and get as good as somebody else or better at it, something that you like. So.
Jessica, you'll be playing the bronze medal game, so good luck in that, and thanks for hanging out.
Thanks so much. It was a lot of fun.
And earlier in the week, we caught up with a couple of the sponsors who helped make this Boccia event and others here at the games possible. This is Sharon Duke with United Concordia Dental, a premier sponsor at this year's games. Real quick, describe for us this company's involvement and investment each and every year at the games.
Sure. This is our 4th year of being involved with the Paralyzed Veterans and the wheelchair games. It's very important to us. We hire a lot of veterans. I'm a veteran myself. So we have a real commitment to ensuring that we support DOD, veterans, military in general, the whole community. So it's just a real honor to be able to continue in that tradition for the company.
And you touched on the fact that this is also not just your job, it's a personal connection for you too. You're in which branch?
I was in the Air Force for 20 years. So yeah, I'm very lucky. I always say, you know, they allow me to pick and choose the charities that closely tie to what we do and are meaningful to us. So I'm very lucky in that respect, to have that kind of autonomy, and my company has great faith in I guess in my abilities. I don't know if they should, but they do, so I'm very happy in that respect.
You guys get involved in various events each year, and this year, Boccia.
Yes, yes. I think we talked about. I think that's the only sport that I'm good at.
I know, right?
So exactly. So that kind of fit as well for us.
Absolutely. Anybody can compete in that game. It's a good backyard hangout game.
Absolutely. It's right up there with horseshoes.
Any other events and things you're looking forward to experiencing this week?
All of them. Swimming, we're kind of hoping that the weather holds off this week. I know we're looking for some rain, but hopefully swimming, air gun, just really a smattering of all of the events.
You've been here a handful of years. Are there any moments, any stories that you can recall and that you always go back to?
Yes, when we sponsor the games in Pittsburgh, I got to meet Rocky Blyer, who played for the Pittsburgh Steelers for many, many years, and also a Vietnam veteran. So that to me was extremely touching to be able to spend some time with him and talk to him.
Sharon, thank you.
Thank you.
And this is Mike Warfel from Highmark, a Pennsylvania company. So, hey, off the bat, tell us, what's it like to have the games back here again in your home state?
You know, we're delighted at Highmark to be one of the national sponsors again. We first became aware of this 3 years ago when Pittsburgh hosted the games, and the company probably had more than 300 volunteers throughout the week participate. An impressive show of sport, and I think more importantly, when you see the athletes participating, you can't help be touched by their enthusiasm. But more importantly, I think it's the camaraderie that you see, the older vets with the younger vets, sort of bringing them into the fold. It's been great.
So with the games here in Philly this year, it was a no-brainer, right, to return?
It was. When PVA called us about a year and a half ago and said, guess what, Mike, the games are coming back to Pennsylvania, will Highmark and United Concordia step up? And we said absolutely. So we're delighted to be here as a national sponsor once again.
What sort of programs, what sort of services are you guys out there doing for vets?
You know, the company has made some fairly significant commitment to helping vets reintegrate coming back from the two wars. We have probably 400 self-disclosed vets that are part of the Highmark family of employees today. We've got about 37,000 employees, but those who have declared themselves that they're vets, so we have about 400. We had a symposium last year where we met with various folks from the community talking about where the gaps in services, what kind of educational needs, healthcare needs are there. So the company continues to be helpful in trying to make sure that the services are there for the vets.
Are there any specific events? I mean, you guys are behind the Boccia event, which is cool. Everyone's kind of looking forward to that one. Any other things this week that you're personally looking forward to?
You know, as I think back to the games in Pittsburgh, one of my favorite sports, I like bocce. I like to play bocce personally. But if you haven't seen quad rugby, that's pretty physical, pretty amazing to watch that. Yeah.
It's one of the fan favorites for sure.
It is. It is. You know, the fans in the stands is really a big part of this, and it's great to see the community support coming out to cheer for the athletes.
Mike, thank you for your and your company's involvement and investment in the games. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Right.
And that'll do it for our look at the Boccia event here, the 34th National Veterans Wheelchair Games in Philadelphia. We still got more to come from the games, so stay tuned.
Speedy TV, live from the National Veterans Wheelchair Games, a service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.